Hello my rays of sunshine, I'm Tristan Ray and you have found my channel Rheas Reads. Today I'm in a new position because I'm going to do my first ever bookshelf tour type thing. I'm going to be showing you all of my antique books today and telling you kind of a little bit about where I got them. First, I'm going to start with my book, The Jungle Book by Rudyard Kipling. This is a classic, it is very famous, and this one is very well loved. I have not actually read this copy. I'll show you a few of the pages inside here. The cover is starting to come off. I got this book at a secondhand store when I went to Colorado this last summer with my boyfriend and some friends. It cost me $8, and I think it was well worth it. This is all of the chapters. Each chapter head has some really cool designs on it. The pages are just like so. They smell wonderful like an old book. It's really fantastic. Like I said, I have not read it. I plan to though. It's so old that the last person who owned it, I'm assuming, must have taped these pages, but the tape is getting so old and yellowy and falling apart. It makes me just love the book even more. I think it adds so much character to the book. Here's a little illustration in the book where you can see the spine has been well loved. So yeah, this is the first one. The second book I'm going to show you is The Gypsy in the Parlor by Marjorie Sharp. This book was previously owned by Victoria Hall Library Good Samaritan Hospital. It has a stamp on it, and you can see the stamp down there. It doesn't have any cover art besides the spine, which I'll let you see. It's a beautiful blue color, which is why I initially grabbed it, because I was like, oh, that's such a pretty blue. I have no idea what it's about. I have no idea if I'll ever actually get around to reading it, but it's a beautiful book to have on my shelf. I may or may not read it. We'll see. Another reason that I picked it up is because my mom's maiden name is Sharp, so that whole side of the family of mine, their last name is Sharp, and so I thought that was really cool too. That made me want to pick it up and keep it. Maybe it's a long lost family member. But inside it has this little thing connected. I don't know if it was an original copy thing or not, but it has a little synopsis of the book. I spent $4 on this book. I bought it at a secondhand store in Cincinnati when I was there for International Sigma Tau Delta Convention. And if you don't know what Sigma Tau Delta is, stick around my channel, keep coming back and looking for it, because I will be doing a whole entire video about Sigma Tau Delta and how amazing and wonderful it is. But anyways, see, these are the inside pages. This is a whole other list of books by Marjorie Sharp. And I'm wondering maybe if I'm like completely like about to get roasted on BookTube for not knowing who Marjorie Sharp is, because she has quite a list of books here, but I have never heard of her or any of these books. But the book has a beautiful color. Looks like it was printed in Boston. This is actually a first edition. Wow, I'm just seeing that. This is a first edition. Copyright 1953. Wow, that's so cool. I never read that. Why did I never look at that? So this is a first edition 1953 Marjorie Sharp Gypsy in the Parlor. I wonder if this one has a date on the inside. Guys, oh my gosh, no wonder this book is falling apart. This copy is from 1904. This copy that I'm holding in my hands is from 1904. I really should have looked at these. You guys are getting my reactions. This is perfect. I'm glad I never looked at these too deeply. I just saw them and said, oh, pretty book. So shallow, judging a book by its cover. But then it says copyright 1893, 1894. So this is not a first edition, but this is still really cool. It's printed in New York. The next book I have, I also got at a secondhand store in Cincinnati, and it is Madame Bovary by Flower. This is a famous novel. Pretty sure it's about adultery, kind of. It's a super cute little book. I did start reading this one. You can see I put my bookmark in it. This was a postcard, an old postcard that I bought when I was in Cincinnati. I paid $5 for this copy. The inside has this cute little texture that's on the cover. This one says, Walter G. If anyone knows this name, I have your family member's old book. Thank you for sharing with me. I think that's so cool. I love finding books that have signatures or notes or letters written in them. It does not seem to have a publication date of this particular copy. I'm sure I could find it on the internet, but you can look at the pages here. The book was originally published in 1856. I'm not sure what date this particular edition was published though, but it is a beautiful, cute little book that sits right on my shelf. The next book I have to show you is Withering Heights. I also got this one at a secondhand bookstore in Cincinnati. My friend and I found two really amazing secondhand bookstores when we were in Cincinnati, and this is why I have so many of these copies, because so many of the books were like this. It was absolutely heaven. It was beautiful. So this is Harper's Modern Classics. You can see it has this seal on the front here. Here's the spine, Withering Heights, Harper's Classic Books, and then it says Emily Bronte at the top. Emily Bronte wrote this, if you didn't know that. It's a classic. The back is just plain. Inside the front, there is a name inscribed. You can read that. It says Tom Kleindienst. He wrote his name up here too. And then it would appear that he drew a map of the book, because here's the moors and this is the compass. See, this is why I love getting old secondhand copies. This is so cool. Copyright 1950. Wuthering Heights is one of those classics that I have not read, so I'm really excited to read this version, especially because it was obviously so well loved based on the map and everything that's in it. Looking in the back cover, it would appear, I'm assuming that this was maybe for someone's class, that they used it and read it. I spent $5 on it, but back in the back here also is more notes from the original owner. It says, influences on Emily, Horace Walpole wrote novels, gothic romance, romantic movement. So I'm thinking that this was maybe someone's book that they used for a class, and his name was Thomas Kleindienst. I'm probably saying your name wrong. I'm terrible at names, if you haven't learned that by now. The next book I have is The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne. This copy is a beautiful purple color, and I love it. There's a little Gypsy candle stamp on the front. Can you see that there? I have no idea what that means. Book League, I think. This is the spine. It's beautiful gold. And then the back is just the plain, that really pretty purple color. I have read parts of this because I was supposed to read it for class, but I just kind of skimmed it. And I know I'm going to have to read it for my next class coming up here in the spring, so I will be reading it then. This copy is from 1938. So this is the second edition, which is really cool. And then it has a preface to the second edition, so I'm assuming this is the second edition. Perhaps they just included the preface from the second edition into this edition. I'm gonna go ahead and say second edition. Might not be, but I'm gonna. And this one is bound really well. It's still in really good shape. I mean, I can do that. The pages don't feel too brittle or anything. So it was really well taken care of. I paid $7 for this one, and this one was another one of those that I got in Cincinnati at a secondhand store. And I saved my favorite antique book for last. I don't keep it with the rest of these because it already had a spot on the shelf before I bought these, and that is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This is actually my grandmother's edition. This is my favorite book of all time. I've read this copy multiple times. My grandma has other copies. It's wonderful. I am just holding it this close to me right now and I can smell its pages. And I feel like I'm reading the story all over again just by smelling it. You can see it has the stamp on the front here. It's this beautiful brown leathery looking color. This is a golden spine. This was actually a gift to my grandmother from her mom and dad, so it says, to Jean, love mom and dad, 1958. So this edition was given to her in 1958. I absolutely love that. She would have been just turned 20. It has a beautiful illustration of Jane on the inside. This was printed in London. It has the introduction, it has the chapters. I'm smelling the pages and it just smells absolutely like heaven, and it makes me want to reread it all over again. I didn't pay anything for this. It was a gift from my grandma. This is my all-time favorite book, and that's why I had to end this bookshelf tour type thing with this novel, because it is fantastic. It is absolutely my favorite classic. I hope you enjoyed this video and seeing all of my antique books. If you like this bookshelf tour type thing, let me know and I'll do some more. If you like this angle better, let me know and I can maybe film some book talks in this angle. You tell me what you want to see. I'm Tristan Ray. This is my channel, Rheas Reads. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter with the handle @RheasReads. That's RheasReads. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and don't forget to be the sunshine for someone else's day also.